The morning watch. The morning watch. The morning watch. The morning watch. I always start with the word, now that's a bird call. I came to take them to church, don't wear your words draw.
Good morning, Generations fam. It's Pastor George with the Morning Watch. It is Wednesday, April 1st, 2026, 5:30 in the morning. I'm so glad that you joined us today. Hey, listen up. So we got a couple changes coming. I'm planning on reorganizing the Morning Watch. I think we're going to go to one time per week, probably longer content. But yeah, so over the next couple weeks, it'll be a little hit or miss. We got Easter coming up. I'm going to be out of town possibly for a few days next week. So I just wanted to keep you informed. So today we're going to get into conviction. We're going to be reading from Matthew 16 verses 21 through 23. Now let me set the scene. This is directly after Peter confesses that Jesus is the Christ. You may remember that Jesus asked them, who do people say that the Son of Man is? And then he asks, who do you say that I am? And Peter responds with something so very wise, kind of out of character for Peter. He says, you are the Christ, the Son of the living God. And that's when Jesus blessed him, changed his name, and let him know that his church was going to be built on him. But as we continue, starting in verse 21, from that time Jesus began to show his disciples that he must go to Jerusalem and suffer many things from the elders and chief priests and scribes and be killed, and on the third day be raised. So Jesus is foretelling his own death and resurrection. But Peter took him aside and began to rebuke him, saying, far be it from you, Lord, this shall never happen to you. But he turned and he said to Peter, get behind me, Satan, you are a hindrance to me. For you are not setting your mind on the things of God, but on the things of man. So let me ask you, have you ever had a Peter moment? Have you ever had a moment where, man, maybe somebody says something really great about you, or perhaps you win an award, or maybe you get a promotion at work, and the very next thing you do is something so embarrassing? I know I have. I've lived a couple of Peter's stories for sure. So what am I getting at? So I'm going to talk about conviction just a little bit today. Yesterday, I attempted to put together a podcast for this morning, and I thought I was giving myself a break. Because I was going to talk about something that I'm very passionate about, and that's the Sabbath. And try as I may, for 45 minutes, maybe close to an hour of recording content, I got 5 seconds of an intro. That was it. What if I told you that there was a fishing wire tied around the entirety of the island of Manhattan that costs $125,000 to $150,000 a year to maintain, and it's critical to our faith? That was it. And I started to get frustrated with myself, and man, I put everything down, and I just started thinking through it, praying through it. And I started asking the Lord what was going on. And he revealed a couple things to me that didn't really relate. But in that process, I kept digging, and I realized that I had violated my Sabbath this past Saturday. That's not what I expected out of yesterday. But herein lies the problem. The human condition, I don't know, maybe I can speak for you, maybe not. I'll just speak for myself. Generally, I feel like I'm at least trying to do the right thing. My direction, my true north has changed, and I feel like I'm headed in the right direction. Now, don't get me wrong. Because I read this, and I try to stay in this word, I am, every single day through the process of sanctification and his glorification, I realize that my best efforts are nothing but rags. They really are. And whereas I generally try to keep myself on the right path, headed in the proper direction, man, I'm just not I'm not so good that I can't be corrected. Now, if you're anything like me, I think a lot of it goes to how the correction is handled. But I went to the Lord, and He let me know I had violated my Sabbath. Now, is that the reason why I couldn't speak on the Sabbath? Probably. There's something called cognitive dissonance, where you speak one thing, but your actions do another. And that's something that I've become aware of and that I've tried to eradicate from my life. But as I was in this process of trying to put together a message for the Sabbath, I could not put two sentences together. So what am I getting at? My time with the Lord hasn't quite been where it should have been. Please hear me. I'm not preaching from an open wound. I'm just trying to be honest. My time with the Lord hadn't been where it needed to be. And in this process of me asking Him, like, where am I going wrong? How am I missing the mark here? He let me know very pointedly, specifically, one action that I had taken this past Sabbath that didn't honor Him. And I was really grateful in that moment. I was really grateful in that moment that He would take the time to quietly, in our quiet time, let me know where I had gone wrong. And from here on out, I'm going to do my best not to violate the Sabbath in that manner. But I just wanted to ask you, when was the last time you sat down with the Lord and asked Him to search your heart? Where am I going wrong, Father? Where in my life do I have blinders on that I can't see? Where is an area in my life that is not honoring You? Now, that's not how this went down yesterday, not at all. But I'm advising us to do that ahead of time, before you get to the point where you're trying to do a podcast on Sabbath, and then the Lord has to stop you and sit you down and say, hey, look, this is where we went a little off this past week. I tell you, based on my personal experience, it's much, much easier, and it is a part of a loving and engaging relationship, if we will go to Him and say, hey, search my heart. Where am I going wrong? Where's my blinders? Where am I not honoring You? Where am I not being a good representative of Your Son? So as you will go about your day and about your week, leading up to Easter, we got Good Friday coming up, and then Easter Sunday. Man, can we just take some moments? Can we just take a few moments and ask the Lord? Because I approach Him in many ways. I approach Him as my loving Abba Father. I approach Him as my comforter. I approach Him as my victorious King. I approach Him as my Savior. I approach Him as my sanctifier. But not too often do we approach Him as our judge, as our creator, and say, Lord, if You see something in me, would You let me know? Because based on my experience, and I've had a lot of experience, I've been around the sun quite a few times, and based on my experience, it is much more, it's much less uncomfortable if I go to Him in my quiet place, in the secret place, and I ask Him directly, Father, here's where I think I've been messing up. Would You help me? Please forgive me. But also, Father, where do You see where I've been going wrong, where I have not been honoring You, where I've had my blinders on? What an opportunity this Easter week to go to the throne room and say, Father, here's my heart. Here's my heart. Please show me where it is not aligned with You. Please show me where it's not aligned with Your word. And one really easy way to find out if we're staying on track or if we're getting a little off the rails is to be in the Word daily. Be in the Word daily, even if it's just a little bit. So the conviction of the Lord, I recommend we seek it out. I do, because I have been admonished in a big way. I've been admonished in public, and that's painful. But it worked. I want to say it worked. I hope it worked. It caused me to reevaluate who I was, how I was acting, how I was executing things. But this Easter week, I pray that as many folks as we can, if we can go to the throne room and ask Him, Father, search my heart, as I prepare to celebrate this momentous occasion of your Son coming to earth and dying on behalf of every single one of us, anybody that would accept Him. Father, search my heart. Where have I gone wrong? Hey, listen, Generations fan, we love you. It's Wednesday, so you know what that means. We got a Hungry Hearts meal. I believe it's spaghetti and meatballs. You're not going to want to miss that. And then, so come at 5:30 for the spaghetti and meatballs and stay for the small groups. Until next time, thanks for joining the Morning Watch. We love you guys, and we'll see you next week.